Jordan James entered the real estate industry at 17 years old, climbed the ladder of corporate success to own his own office by age 23. On the outside looking in, most people would say Jordan was living the success many agents strive for. Albeit inside, he was struggling mentally and emotionally, and it all came to a head in 2020 when he found himself unable to leave the house, suffering from both burnout and depression. Jordan knew that if he was to continue down this path, that there would be major consequences to his well-being, his happiness and his zest for life. Jordan's journey of self-discovery and healing has been full of ups and downs and will provide you an in-depth look at alternative healing methods such as ice bathing and breathwork, and how they've transformed Jordan's ability to not only perform at a high level inside his business, but how it's impacted his motivation to experience an extraordinary life beyond real estate. Please welcome Jordan.
All right, how are we all? We're excited, we're all pumped, we all look really comfortable in our chairs, and I'm just going to let you know straight off the bat, you are going to stand up at some point during this talk. We're going to use the whole room, we're going to get in each other's space, it's going to be great. The topic of today is going to be taking radical self-responsibility. And I'm going to talk to you about taking radical self-responsibility for yourself and how that amplifies your ability to go and create a life by design. Here I am, it's a good looking rooster. My journey started in 2012 and I was a high school dropout. I dropped out in year 10. I really didn't have a lot going for me. I thought I was going to be an athlete like Matthew Pavlich, but I'm only 5'9", so I'm not that tall. And I was playing soccer overseas actually in Kuala Lumpur and Borneo. And one of the ladies that was on the bus, her son I was playing with, she was the general manager of the first office that I worked for. And we were just talking on the bus one day and she was like, "What are you doing with yourself?" And I was like, "I work at an airport. I load planes." And she said, "You'd be a great real estate agent," which was really funny because one thing I really hate about the school system, and they don't really support our industry, is that nobody told me I could go be a salesperson. Nobody told me that there was a career out there where my group certificate was a reflection of my own beliefs, habits, and actions that I'd taken over a 12-month period. No one told me that. And no, they go to uni, go get a degree, get a HECS debt, and then come out with a 65K a year income, which is good for some people, but I wasn't going to be happy with that. And when I did work experience as a Boilermaker, I set myself on fire twice in 48 hours. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm good for this. I don't think this is going to be me. And so, before I jump to that bit, at the end of 2012, I was about to turn 18 years old. I got some news, and as you can probably tell by the photo, I found out I was going to be a father at 18 years old. Not really the circumstances you want to find out that you're having a child. Here I am about to turn 18, I'm about to go full send at every club that I can get to, and that all just got derailed. All my plans to go and party and just like be a real estate rock star just absolutely got derailed. It was at this point that things weren't really going to go to plan and what I thought. And here I am a couple of years later in 2014 with my 6-month-old son, Oakley. He's now 9, would you believe? It goes very fast, and all the parents in the room will know what I'm talking about. And it was at this point that I made a decision that I need to get really serious about real estate and get really serious about what kind of life I want to create for myself. And I'm not talking about just making money. Oh, Siri, that's a carton. Export. Not really. I can tell from the Pilbara. So in 2014, I started selling real estate. I was 18 years old, and by the time I was 19, I called my first auction in WA. Would you believe? I called an auction. The whole 2 people turned up. It was awesome, and I sold it. That's the main thing, right? And through time progresses, and by 2019, my fiance and I, we made a decision to go to a town that she'd never been to, where I grew up, and purchased Real Mart Karratha, the business that I now still run. And in our first year of business, this is what we walked into. It still doesn't seem real. We had 1 staff member. We had about 180 odd properties under management. We had 1 staff member. She was the receptionist, she was the salesperson, she was doing the routines, and she used to actually lock the door, shut the office, so she could go to the toilet and go and do these appointments. And so if you think about it, we're open for 8 hours a day. Anyone that's been in property management knows that an ingoing inspection probably takes 3 to 4 hours to complete. Then you go chuck a couple of routine inspections on top. Sometimes we wouldn't be open for 6 hours of the 8-hour day. Like, what kind of business am I in now? It's absolutely crazy. We had 30 management clients walk out within the first 3 months. And for all my business owner friends in the room, that's about 90K's worth of revenue for me at that time. It'd be a lot more now because property prices are up. But it was pretty confronting. I didn't even have $90,000, let alone it walking out the door, and nothing I can do to stop it. The damage was done. Nothing I could do. Just had to wave them goodbye. Hopefully they come back. And some did. Said, you were right, you should have stayed. We had $160,000 worth of outstanding bills, and that's not including mismanagement. When you mess up in property management, is my belief, or in sales, but I'll use property management because that seems to be where most of the errors happen, but when something goes wrong in my business, I think we pay. Like we just put it down as marketing. But, like keep the relationship good. So if something goes wrong, we're gonna pay for that. So we had $160,000 worth of unpaid accounts, just to like accountant, the plumber, all the stuff. And on top of that, we had bad debt. Like the original fit out from 2015, I bought the business in 2019, the original fit out loan still hadn't been touched. So we're just getting smashed with interest, and that was another 60K. So you can imagine my first year in business, I was like, this is not good. What am I doing? I'm taking my fiance, my now fiance, to a town that she's never been to before, told her it's a fantastic idea and a great market to be in. We've got a business falling apart at the seams. And so we fast forward to 2020, 21. It was what I call my breakout year, where things really started to turn. I did 98 transactions, sold $43 million worth of real estate, wrote $1.2 million in GCI. Average sale price of $440, so I'm not selling $1 million homes up in Karratha, trust me, you guys have way cooler houses than I do. Average fee of about 2.8%, and we went from, 152 up to 220 managements in a market where no one's rent roll was growing. So we were able to really change the narrative around that. And it all just came down to one simple thing. We just took radical self-responsibility for everything that was happening inside of our business. I mean, everything. And it would have been easy to sit there and say, well, it's from my business partner, because I bought in at 50% first. That was his problem. It's his fault. These are his issues. But I bought in, baby. These are my problems now, and I've got to solve them. And so I stand here now at 28 years old. I've been a business owner now for 5 years, which is still really young. I don't know it all, and I'm still learning. And we're a growing business. We're about to go from, 220 up to 380 in a couple months' time. We're now going to do over $2 million worth of commission this coming financial year. I'll personally write 1.4. We're still growing and we're still learning. And it all just comes down to taking radical self-responsibility for yourself. And there was this key moment when I talk about this. We talked about it in the blurb. One day, about 2 years ago, I literally just couldn't get out of bed. I was done, cooked. I'd been going so hard at rebuilding this business, so hard at selling, so hard at giving my soul to my clients, doing everything I can, putting my kids aside, working 15 hours a day, absolutely just going like a madman, possessed. And sometimes I still turn that on because I love it. But when you do that for a long period of time, you don't take care of yourself, of what's going on in here and in here, things don't work out. And so I called my business coach. I said, I'm not going in. It's like the first day I didn't go to work in like 2 years. I was like, I'm not going in. And why? What's going on? I'm like, I'm done. And I just cried. And I just cried and cried. I'd had enough. And I'd mentally sold and checked out from my business. I was ready to tap in 2 years in. I was out. I'd had enough. Even though on the outside looking in, $1 million agent, you get in the industry, like, right, $1 million bucks? Yeah. But people don't tell you what it's going to take from you and what you've got to prepare for. And the people that you need around you in order to get to that actual goal. And so I was no longer going to sit inside my own victimhood, all right? When we took over the business, we weren't going to sit inside our victimhood. And like I said, when I had a kid at 18 years old, most people would forgive me for being a victim to those circumstances. Most people would say, not really expect anything from me. At 18 with a kid earning 42 grand a year on a property manager's income back then, didn't really have a lot going for me. And I got caught in this victimhood consciousness loop. This is a really important concept to understand because real estate agents are really good at playing victims when they lose listings, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But I borrowed $30,000 from my dad so I could see my kid when I was 18 years old. And after everything that had happened, it had taken 6 months to get to a point where I'd actually be able to spend some time with my son, I got a document that said, you will see your son 3 hours a week, for 3 hours a day, 3 times a week. And on top of that, we want you to do a parenting course. And on top of that, we want you to go and get your hair cut out of your head and get drug tested every 3 months. That's what happened. And rightfully, maybe they had reasons for that. And it could have been easy for me to be a victim to those circumstances. Oh, poor me, I only get to see my son this much. She's doing this to me. Da da da. Next story. They're all stories. But instead, I decided to take radical ownership of the situation and just spend all my time working so I can get to a point where I can get more time. Now I have my son 50% custody all the time. It's amazing. And how does this play out? So there's me, the victim at the bottom, or this man. There's me at the bottom, and the bad guy could have been my ex-partner, or my son's mother, right? Could have been her. She's the bad guy. And then the savior in this circumstance would be like my family or my colleagues or people around me, that when I told that story about she's doing this to me, and this is her fault, they validate that story. And therefore, we get this consciousness loop of me constantly being a victim to my own circumstances until you shut it off. And so how does this play out in real estate? There's us real estate agents. We got competitors' fees. I hear it all the time. Oh, why'd you lose a listing? Oh, the other agent was cheaper. Really? Did you only just figure out now that the other agent in your marketplace is actually cheaper than you? Did we only just learn that today? Is that new information? You know, I never get that one. Co-agent in the office. There's always, every office I've been in, there's always one agent that's just like dominating, like just seems to be dominating. They're like outperforming most of their colleagues. They've probably been around a long time. But there's always other people in the office that are like, that agent gets all the listings. You know, that agent gets all the PM referrals, or that agent gets all the leads that come into the business. And it's like this story that they create that allows them to stay inside their own victimhood as to why they're not getting the results and creating the life they desire. And they're all just stories. Like, none of that's actually true with a capital T. It's maybe partly true. Director and principal. Maybe you're sitting there waiting for your director, like your director and principal won't invest in ActivePipe or something like that. Or the new one, ChatGPT. Like, our director won't use it. Our director won't get the new CRM that's gonna create results for us. It's like, there's all just stories. All these stories that we run as real estate agents that stop us from getting results. Maybe it's your kids. If you're like me right now, I've got 2 kids under 2 right now. I haven't had a full night's sleep in 2 years, if you can't tell. But, you know, it would be easy potentially for me to be like, I'm not getting results, or I'm not getting the life I desire because of my kids. And you put them in that bad guy box. And then we're gonna move into the savior and the rescuer. And so in this instance, your colleagues. So you're talking about your competitors' fees or that other agent in the office, and then your colleagues, we called it water cooler talk, where we sit around and we just tell stories about why we're not getting results. And then they're like, yeah, me too. Yeah, that other agent and their fees, or yeah, that agent in our office who's getting all the listings. And you just validate each other's bullshit, to be honest, is what it is. And that's the reason you don't get results. And it's like, we got to break through that. Media outlets right now, interest rates went up again, surprise, surprise. It's going to happen 2 more times probably, most likely. So prepare for it, be ready. Director and principal again. In this one, it's interesting because the director is the bad guy, and this time you're also waiting for him to save you. You're waiting for him to just give you a free listing out the back, invest in that software or whatever it is, and then you'll go and get results, and then you'll go and create what you want. Is this landing? And so maybe it's your partner as well. Maybe you go home from work, you lose a couple listings, and you're like, you know what, babe, because I've been guilty of this too. I hate that competitor, his fees. And she's like, it's all right, babe, you're working really hard. I know you're trying. And you accept that. You're like, yeah, cool, I'm off the hook. I'm off. I'll go in again and do the same thing. At no point you take radical self-responsibility. And when we take radical self-responsibility, we move into being the creator. I like to think that I create everything in my life. Everything that I have designed, everything that I do, I have absolutely thought about it, and I've created it from the ground up. And when you're the creator, you own your power to choose and respond. You don't react. You respond, you think about it and you respond from a place of clear energy. You focus on outcomes and results. I love this in real estate agents. The only thing that matters in real estate as a salesperson is how many calls, connects, appointments you do each day, and how much listings, appraisals, listings, and income. They're the 6 things that you need to track. Don't care how many Instagram followers you got. Don't care how many people clicked on your e-marketing email. I don't care. They're the only numbers that matter. And if you focus on those outcomes, you will increase your business. There's an unwavering self-belief that I have. I have declared to my team, and I'll declare it now, that this next financial year, I'm gonna aim to write $2 million in GCI. If you asked me last financial year, I probably wouldn't have, I just would have been like, nah, I don't know if I can do that. Now I'm like, no, I can do it, and I will. Like, I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna figure it out along the way. But you think about Matthew Pavlich, you think about all the elite athletes, they just have this unwavering, I can do it and I'm gonna do it. Like LeBron James, he's just like a freak of nature. There's something different about his energy. But he just has this unwavering belief of I can do it. And no one's gonna get in his way or tell him he can't. Good luck if you do. You know what I'm saying? I've had some phenomenal coaches. Really funny conversation with my coach the other day. I started to feel like I was doing a lot of business stuff, business owner stuff, which I don't really like doing. Like, I'm not a very good licensee, but I could feel this stuff landing on my plate that I just didn't want to deal with. I just want to list and sell. That's what I love doing. And I ring my coach and I say, look, we need to talk. I'm not happy. She goes, all right. So we set up a call, we jump on, she goes, what's up? I say, I don't want to deal with business stuff anymore. She goes, so you just want to list and sell? I say, yeah. She goes, right, so who do you need to talk to? I say, well, I need to talk to Jackie, my operations, and I need to talk to Elaine. She goes, great, so when are you going to do that? Well, I could probably do it tomorrow. I've got a meeting with them. Okay, great, and what are you going to tell them? Well, I'm going to tell them that I don't want to deal with business stuff anymore, and the best thing for the business is for me to focus on listing and selling so we can increase our income. Okay, great. So what do you need from me? And a really good coach will just ask some really pointy questions. The answers are already inside. You just got to navigate it and actually go and do it. And that's what all coaches do. They just ask really good questions that you already know the answers to. You're just too scared to go and say that's actually what you want to go and do. That's been my experience anyway. And then you got the challenger. Calls forth learning and growth. Like, doesn't let you off the hook. Challenges you on what you say you want. When I say I want to write $2 million, the challenges around me are like, do you know what that's going to take from you? Have you thought about what you're going to sacrifice along the way? Because it's not all rainbows. There's a lot of pain along the way, a lot of sacrifice. Provokes radical action. One of the best questions that was ever asked of me, and we asked ourselves this when we realized how bad our business was when we bought it. We wrote out what we want to do in 5 years, and then we just asked ourselves, what would we need to do it in 6 months? Like, and you ask yourself some pretty powerful questions, you're going to get better results. And I ask myself that all the time. That's why I think writing 2 million isn't that unattainable. Because I'm like, well, I just need to do what I would do in 5 years in 18 months or less. Would be great. And then just call you forward on your bullshit stories. We've talked a lot about stories and we're going to talk more about it. But you need to have people around you that are going to call you forward. And I'm not saying call you out. There's a difference. Someone who calls you out isn't got your best interests at heart. Someone who calls you forward can see your potential and wants you to achieve it. And so I've had some great mentors. Oh, I can't read that, damn it. Hang on, give me 1 sec. Great background, Jordan. All right, I'm gonna share with you some of my key lessons from some of the great mentors I've had and what I've learned. Calendar equals life, health and family, and then you can work. Even though I'm extremely busy, and I have 3 kids now, I've got 16 staff, health first, because I want my cup overflowing or I'm no good to any of you and I'm not able to stand here today and have this energy that I've got. That takes discipline in looking after my health. And I am extreme, and we're going to talk about how extreme I get with this stuff. And then family, like at the end of the day, how many like wealthy people do we see in real estate get to the end of their career and they're just so unhealthy? And you ask them like what they would give up. They're like, I would give it all away if I could just have my health back. If I could just do like a squat, just one, and I'm good. Calls, connects, appointments, appraisals, listings, income. That's all that matters. Everything else is just noise. Block it out. Focus on your calls. Just do your calls. If I literally put out my phone, I don't have it on me, but my WhatsApp group chat, my sales team report calls, connects, appointments every single day, and if they don't, I'm like straight onto them at 5:30. Dylan, where's your calls, connects, appointments? And then bang, they're in. And so I could pull out last 4 or 5 days, 26 calls, 16 connects, 3 appointments, and we just do that consistently. And you can do that in your own sales team. You don't have to be your PA and yourself. Like, start a WhatsApp group chat, pump each other up, get around each other. Because that's ultimately what's going to create more momentum inside your business. And if you're all getting more momentum, you're all going to get more opportunity. Frequently edit. Like what I was doing when I was 20, I'm not doing now at 28, obviously, but I know that's a pretty obvious statement. But I'm very careful about who I spend my time with. And I don't want to spend time with people that are going out on Saturday night, getting on the terps and being hungover all weekend. I don't have time and space for that anymore. That's not going to take me to $2 million in GCI. I want to be around people that are doing more of what I want to do. And I cull ruthlessly. And it's not like I'm rude, I just kind of spend less time with those people. That's all it is. And frequently edit your environment. If your desk is a mess, clean it up. Like, it's a representation of how you run your life, it's a representation of how you run your business. What's working well, even better if. This is a true story. We started to get some momentum in 2019, started getting a few listings, and I was just like 3 a month, I'm pumped, right? If I had 3 a month now, I'd freak out. Anyway, we started going, all right, how can we win more listings? How can we set ourselves apart from our competitors? And we started to, do the digital pre-list kit. Like, it became a big thing, like everyone's doing pre-list kits, right? So we started doing digital one. It was working. No one in Craft's doing it, just so you know, except us. So the digital pre-list kit starts going out and we start getting better results. It's good. And every week, what's working well, even better if? Well, the appraisal process is getting better. How could it be better? What if for the local owners, we dropped off a physical pre-list kit within an hour of booking the appointment? So now I just send the calendar invite to my PA and bang, it's at the owner's front door within an hour and the digital one goes out. Cool, week later. You ready? What if we ask the same question? What if we dropped off a candle as well? So I went and bought 500 candles, and they're not shit ones, they're good. They're real good. And every time I turn up to an appraisal, they've already lit the candle up. And I know I'm gonna win it because of that. It's just become signature. And like, people literally call me out for an appraisal because they want a candle. Take responsibility for yourself always. You will never, ever, ever, ever hear me say, I lost the listing because of something external to me. Or just like nothing in my life, anything that I don't like or I'm dissatisfied with. It's because I'm responsible for it. I'm either not having the conversation with, if I'm not getting the results inside my relationship, like the connection isn't as deep as it needs to be or where I want it, that's on me to get my needs met and have that conversation. It's not your partner's fault that you're unhappy. Just like in real estate, if you lose a listing, it's your fault. Like, you didn't add enough value, man. That's what it is. It's not fee. You're not adding the value. That's what it's about. And so everything in my life, I said before, I've thought about, like literally, I actually think I thought about speaking on stage at one point. Maybe not as much as I thought about some other things, but I definitely have thought about this at some point. And I really just believe that what you think about comes about. Like literally everything, like owning a real estate office. I used to think about that when I was 19. Like, I'm gonna do it. And I just thought about it all the time. And somehow it just happened. Like, I didn't have the natural path of like, became a top selling agent in my office and then I branched out and then they tried to stop me and I said, no, we're gonna do it. And that didn't happen, all right? I moved marketplaces, like it was all just a swirling, weird manifestation thing that happened, right? But that's happened so many times to me. And I think if our thoughts become our words, right? Because they do. And then our words become our beliefs. Say it with me now, just kidding. And our beliefs become our actions, and then our actions become our habits, and our habits become our reality. So isn't the question simple? It's just, if we can control and be more aware of our thoughts, could we not go and create better results for ourselves? Could we not go and create the life you truly desire if you just be aware of what negative thoughts you're having about yourself, the way you judge yourself? I'm not this enough. I don't do this well. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too this. It's all stories, it's all crap. And society has not done you any service by projecting out onto you that you need to be a certain way in order to experience what you want in life. And all we really want is a deeper connection of love and connection with each other. That's all we actually want. Are you playing to win? And I love this. I really just believe you can break your life down into 8 key areas of your life. And if you've got a notepad, I encourage you to join along with me here, because I'm going to do an actual survey that I do with myself all the time to just really assess where I'm at and what I actually want. And the answers are this. Are you playing to win, not playing at all, or playing to not lose? All different answers. And so if I look at my health and vitality right now, I am playing to win. Like, I'm this physique. No, just kidding. But I've got good energy. I've got energy. I can hold my business. I can hold my kids. My container is so expanded that I can hold it all, right? And it's because I play to win when it comes to health and vitality. At home, yes, it's true. I have an ice bath, all right? I created it and it's easy to do. It's just a chest freezer. You go to Harvey Norman, you go, mate, I want to fit a human body in here. He'll say, how do you want it chopped up? Just kidding. That actually happened to me and I was like, what? No, I want to sit in an ice bath. And then I have a sauna. Like, I got so serious about my health that I went and bought a sauna. I got it carted to my house. And now I just do hot and cold therapy. My father-in-law has a heart murmur. Like, his heart will just stop beating randomly. And he started ice bathing. He's 73 years old. So don't tell me you're too old. Not buying it. He got in after 3 weeks of ice bathing with me. Heart ticker went away. Crazy, right? Yeah, so health and vitality, I'm playing to win. Can't do much else. Personal growth, I'm playing to not lose, all right? I did a darkness retreat in February, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. I sat in darkness for 98 hours. I'm not really looking to expand my consciousness anymore right now. I have had enough, just for now, all right? Last year, I spent like 4 months in a coaching container, which was super intense. They had me do all these crazy exercises, which we're going to do some today. And it was great, like, don't get me wrong. But when you expand, naturally, there's always a contraction that comes. And you have to integrate and you have to settle into your body and settle into where you are. But I will always, when I'm ready, seek out some more. Relationships, this isn't my significant other, this is just relationships in general. I'm probably not playing at all. I don't really spend a lot of time with my family. Like, I don't like to see my parents after like 8 o'clock at night because they drink a bit. And I don't spend much time with my brothers and sisters. I would like to, and that's something that I get to go and work on, okay? That's the end of that discussion. Romance and intimacy, I'm playing to not lose. I have an amazing fiance and I have an amazing relationship. We've built an incredible life together. It's insane. I actually pinch myself every day. But right now, I could be honest with you and say I'm probably not experiencing the greatest depth of connection that I know that we're capable of. And so that is my responsibility to take ownership of that. And that is why I'm playing to not lose, because there's probably a part of me that's still afraid to truly. I can say to you guys, complete strangers, how much I love her, how amazing she is, but saying it to her face makes me squirm, makes me uncomfortable, and that's where the growth is for me. And if I was to go and do that, that would be playing to win. But right now I'm playing to not lose, I'm too scared. Money and business. I see a lot of salespeople do really well. They go and buy a car, they go and buy a really big house they can't afford yet. And, you know, for me, playing to win with money and business, we run a great business. There's money churning through, it's great. But I don't just go and, I drove a Corolla up until 2020. You know, and for some people that's a great car. Now I drive a Tesla because I can afford to do that. But all my profit that I take out of my business, I invest it straight back into cash generating assets. And so for the top performers in the room, a lot of them, not you guys, but I see a lot of top performers that come into the industry, write $1 million, and then they're out of the industry within 5 years with bad debt. They made some really shitty decisions around money, and they're just not good at managing money. I'm not the best person at managing money. I sell houses, the other team do the money stuff. So I just think it's important that you're really careful with where you invest your money and that you have a plan for the future. And we've got a plan, so we're playing to win. Environment, like I said, I've got a sauna, I've got an ice bath. I'm about to renovate my office. My house is just set up the way exactly how I want it. My house isn't a mess. I actually have, this is a true story, and I recommend this to all the business owners in the room. Alina and I, my fiance, we run the business together and we have kids together. We have a busy life, okay? And when we found out we're gonna have our daughter Nova, I was like, look, I don't wanna do washing, all right? I don't wanna spend dead time, doing chores around the house. The only thing I wanna do is gardening. That's the only thing I like doing. Everything else, don't wanna know about it. And basically I said, why don't we just employ a housekeeper and run it through the business? And so now I have Liz, she's the #1 employee at Real Mark Karratha. She comes in 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and she just takes care of all the basic things. Because I don't want to spend any time doing that. I want to spend my time working, creating my life, and I want to spend my spare time with my kids and my fiance. That's it. I don't want to spend our time together doing the washing. Not for me, thank you. So get a housekeeper. It's great. I can send you my job role. It's amazing. She does everything. So my environment, with that, I'm playing to win. I'm setting up my environment for success. All my spare time is spent prospecting, listing, selling. Fun and play, I'm probably not playing at all. Let's be honest. I'm pretty busy. I'm not seeking out any crazy adventures right now. I probably don't dance around the house enough. I have a lot of fun and I joke a lot, but I'm not seeking out something that's fun and enjoyable. I probably don't socialize as much as I should. So I'm not playing at all. Maybe I could look at that. And then purpose and impact. I'm playing to not lose, because with our business, as most business owners do, you contribute back to society, and that's an amazing thing to go and do. But I think there's some bigger questions I could ask myself, like, what if we took 100 business owners, we all chucked in 10 grand, we had $1 million, and we went and turned water on in like a third world country. Like, they're bigger questions to be going to ask, and that to me is playing to win. That's big on purpose and impact. Actually going and changing the world with the money that we create and the ability that we have. And so that's the playing to win formula. And the purpose of this isn't to judge. Like, I'm not judging myself because I'm not playing in relationships. I'm not judging myself because I'm not having as much fun and play right now. I'm consciously doing that. The question is, are you truly making decisions? Are you making decisions based on what you truly desire? Because most of us aren't. Most of us are just following the beaten path that was laid out for us and never actually questioned it. So that's the question to sit with. Are you making decisions based on what you truly desire? I don't desire doing washing and doing house chores, so I have a housekeeper. I don't desire that. I desire a bigger, greater, created life, doing what I want. And what are you seeking? I believe we're all seeking one of three things, and it can change at any moment. It's either approval, it's either safety, or it's control. It's one of those three things. I know I'm an approval nuffy, all right? And I worked this out. I did an exercise, and again, please go and do it. Set 5 alarms on your phone that say approval, safety, or control. Do it for a week. Every time you have the alarm go off, just think to yourself, in the last hour or two, have I sought approval, safety, or control from anyone around me? Have I taken an action because I want approval or safety or control? And I worked it out. I'm approval. I wear this outfit because I want you all to approve of me, all right? So it's anything bad. But I walked into a coffee shop and the alarm went off, and I caught myself going, I wondered if the girl behind the bar liked me. I wonder if she, and I was like, approval. And then what I worked out is that I'd actually built an entire business because I wanted approval, right? Like, be $1 million agent. And then like it happened and the confetti didn't go off and no one clapped me down the street when I walked down Sharp Ave in Karratha, and I was like, this is shit. Like, what did I do this for? I've just like uprooted my entire life, left my son in Geraldton with his mum, went and built a business and was like, I am still not fulfilled. I still need more, right? So approval, safety, or control. Maybe you need safety. If I write $1 million, I will feel safe in my life. Maybe that's you. Or if I have enough money, or when I get X, Y, Z, I'll have enough control over the people around me and I will be at the top of the food chain. Approval, safety, or control. You're all one of them, so just think about it. Great photo. Whew. I want to share with you guys a story. Well, first, let's look at this. What are our emotions? What are they? They're like water. They're like food. They need to come in as you pour the water. They need to come in and they need to come out. The problem we've got society now is no one knows how to get them out. And so we're all running around with mental health issues, and some serious issues are starting to come to a head. And this is the thing, number one thing that I'm most passionate about. You owe it to yourself to deal with whatever's going on inside. And however you want to do that is up to you, as long as it's not harmful to yourself. What tends to happen in society is we go home and we drink, or we go home and, drinking's the big one for me. I don't drink, but people in my life drink, and I think if you didn't do that, you'd be able to deal with what's going on inside. But the problem is none of us know how. We weren't taught as kids how to process your emotions, how to reset your parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic what? I know. It's basically connected to your neurosystem, and that's the thing that holds stress. And the thing about our emotions is they're just energy in motion. It's just moving through you. You are not your emotional experience of the world, it's just your emotions. They just come and they go. The trick is to have practices in place to actually go and deal with it. And so we're going to have a look at a couple of things, and you get an opportunity to push your edge a little bit today. It's going to be really fun. And breath, sound, and movement are the way that we go and do that. The 3 ways, that's it. In the book, Waking the Tiger, it's a book about trauma release. You think about a deer that's in the wild, they get attacked by a tiger, they get away. What do? If you watch any documentary, they like shake and shiver and they frit out like that. And it's their parasympathetic nervous system resetting. But we don't have that ability. We're not taught that. We're just constantly living under threat because we've got social media and like just everything's happening at once. It's insane. We don't know the difference between a snake biting us and like the angry vendor ringing us. It's the same feeling. And what we're doing, I drew that myself. What we're doing by this is through breath. Like breath is breath work to me. You know, it's an amazing tool, Sound is talking really loudly, projecting your voice. And then movement is dance, flowing. And when we're doing that, we're expanding our window of tolerance. There's no way that I could do what I do. Run my business. Sometimes for half of the year, I run my business from Geraldton, not Karratha. And I still sell 80 homes a year. I have 3 kids, I have 16 staff, I have so much going on, and there's no way I can hold all that without expanding my window of tolerance. And so, you ever seen someone that's like on the highway, you see them on Facebook all the time. I'm a nuffy for these videos, but you see these people on Facebook and they like road rage, they get cut off and they get out of the car and they like smash up the other person's car, and it's just crazy, man. It's crazy, but those people, their parasympathetic nervous system and their window of tolerance is so small that they just flip. And that's what happens in the world. You guys aren't at that level yet, hopefully. No one's gonna beat him up on the way home. But when we expand our window of tolerance, we can hold more. And so if you want to go and create amazing results in your life, and maybe you want to write 500K, maybe you want to spend more time with your kids, maybe you want to build a business that's insanely, like, just huge and amazing, you need to have a big window of tolerance. You need to be able to reset your parasympathetic nervous system and get out the emotion that's stored inside you. Most of you have emotions stored inside you from when you were in kindy and the teacher told you to shut up, and in that moment you experienced a degree of shame, and instead of being able to release it, you went, and so now when you're in a public environment and you walk up into a group of new people to speak, that same feeling pops up. It's literally stored trauma in your body. And so what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna stay seated, and I'm gonna ask you all to do a reset breath. And if you saw me outside before, I was doing a reset breath. I do this before I go into a listing presentation. I do this before when I'm stressed. And it's essentially this. You put your hands on your knees, or you put your hands on your belly. Don't do it yet, I'll count you in. There you go, beavers. And you're gonna breathe in through your nose. You're gonna fill up your stomach, like, get it out there, all right? Fill it up as much as you can. You're gonna breathe in for 6 seconds, you're gonna hold for 6 seconds, and then you're gonna release for 6 seconds. And you're gonna do that 3 times consecutively, all right? Cool? Shut your eyes, don't look at anyone. It's a nice thing to do. Serious, bring your eyes closed, and I'll count you in. All right, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 1, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. Let it all go. Does anyone feel just a little bit lighter? Just a little bit more relaxed? No? Maybe. I do. All right, that's breath. If I had more time, I'd have you all on the floor, breath work. We'd all be having somatic releases, but it's not gonna happen today. All right, we're gonna play with sound, all right? And we're gonna turn the cameras off. No one's gonna be watching what's going on here. I want you to all stand up. I want you to go and stand next to someone who you haven't met before or who you wouldn't normally associate with. Go, ready, set, go. Okay, make sure you got some room. You don't need a buddy. This isn't a buddy system. I just want you to stand next to someone who you haven't met. All right, guys, so you guys all right? Ready? Paying attention, we're watching you guys at the back. You're gonna be the number one stars of this. This is called a primal scream, all right? So you're going to be allowed, I'm giving you permission to be as loud as you want, and I'm gonna do it with you. In a moment, I'll take my mic off. I'm gonna join in. And this is how you reset. I'll often go down to the beach and I'll just release whatever's holding inside my body. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna take 3 deep breaths, and on the 3rd breath out, you're going to yell at the top of your lungs from your stomach. I asked someone about this, if I should do this, and they were like, I once had 150 people do a squat. So I was like, well, this is nothing, all right? And I know that there's probably some resistance here for you. And that same resistance that you're experiencing is probably the same thing that's stopping you from achieving the life that you desire. I don't want to look funny. I don't want to feel silly. This is silly. That's the same thing. So are you interested in doing this? I'll give you permission. Cool, let's do it. I don't want to make anyone not do anything they don't want to do. So if you really don't want to do it, you don't have to. I'll still love you, okay? Alrighty, let's go. 3 breaths. 1, in. Through your nose, out. Good. How'd you go? You want to go again? Again? If you sold out on yourself, don't sell out. This is your chance. I'm giving you permission to yell at me, all right? Only my wife gets that permission. Okay, make sure when you breathe in, you don't want to be yelling from your throat. That's not where all your emotions are stored. Your emotions are stored in your body. So make sure it's coming from your stomach, all right? And push from there. And you might want to put your hands back so as to give yourself some room. But we'll do it again, all right? Ready? Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in as deep as you can, breathing out, breathing in. When you're ready. Everyone's up. Too much volume. All right, stay where you are. Stay where you are. All right, one more thing. No more screaming, okay? I'm gonna put some music on, and what I want you to do, I want you to shut your eyes. The cameras are off, no one's watching you, except me. But I'm not judging you. You're gonna shut your eyes, make sure you got some room. You don't wanna touch anyone, you're gonna stay where you are. I'm gonna put some music on, and I just want you to just flow with the music. Just see if you can just flow with the music. We're not talking about TikTok dances or anything like that. I'm just talking about being in flow state with the music, and see if you can let the music just take you for a moment. So when you're ready, shut your eyes, bring them down, don't be rude, don't look at anyone. I'll know and I'll make you come on stage. For your touch, take the way you look at her and picture you looking at me. All I do, every little thing I do for you, just need the time. This is good. See if you can let your arms drop by your side. Just let them flow. Just be loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey, baby. Let it go. Move your hips a little bit. No one's watching, it's just you and yourself. All right, beautiful. Go to your chair very quietly. Just take a moment to reflect on any resistance that showed up for you. And I meant what I said, that resistance that you're feeling, even though it's micro, and this is just a talk and it's just a silly dance and that kind of thing, right? That same resistance is what's holding you back. I remember doing that dance thing, right? But we did it for an hour. And at the end of that, I did some breath work. And this was the first time, this is when my life changed forever. I released everything. I don't know what I released, but it came out. And I was at an event in the US and we did the ecstatic dance, is what we just did. It's called ecstatic dance. And after that, I did some breath work. And in front of 150 people, I stood on stage and I just fell apart. Everything just came out. And I don't know what trauma from childhood or what it was. There's no one thing that it was, but we're so good as humans at just keeping it together, man. I'm just keeping it together. I don't want to express myself. And so that little invitation there is for you, all, men and women, but men in particular. I'm looking at you guys. I know how much you hold. I know how hard it is to hold it all together. And it's your responsibility to yourself, your families, and the people you care about to go and seek out ways in which you can heal yourself. This is a beautiful photo, and it's the last photo I took before I went into the darkness retreat. So I traveled to Germany, in Stuttgart, an hour and a half from Stuttgart to a little place called, I can't even pronounce it anymore, but it's Sasbach van Walden or something like that. And it was the first time I'd seen snow, so I was pretty excited about that. But I went to a darkness retreat, and I don't know why specifically I went to the darkness retreat. I just heard about it, and I knew my soul wanted to go and do that. I just kind of wanted to tick that box and see what would happen if I pushed myself mentally and emotionally to the absolute brink. And that's essentially what happened. And so when you get to the darkness retreat, you get your room, and it's a single bed with a little dresser. There's a cupboard for your clothes, which, yes, you need to remember where all your clothes are. You put all your clothes out because it's pretty cold. So I was wearing like 15 layers, I swear. And there's a little dining table with a window that you can open. That window lets in light, so you have to wear a mask when you open the window. And there's a mirror, of course, for when you do your hair in the darkness. You need to make sure you look good. And there's a little toilet as well, little toilet and shower. It's like a little Four Seasons. If you've ever stayed at Four Seasons, it looks exactly like that. And Bharati, the facilitator, called me up to my room, and basically there's a candle, and they bring it in and they sing a song to keep the bad spirits out. And she says, "Jordan, when you're ready, you can blow the candle out." And I blew the candle out, and all I could see, that's supposed to be black. Well, I didn't see any light, I can tell you that. If you cover your eyes like this at any point during the day, you can still see light, like if you look carefully. And anytime you go to sleep at night, there's normally, if you're a weirdo like me, a phone charger or something around where there's a little bit of light. There's light always finds a way, and that's like really the funny irony of going to a darkness retreat, is the light finds a way. And when you're in a darkness retreat, for the first 48 hours, I probably slept for about 32. Like, I had some deep rest, much needed rest, and just restore like all the lost sleep I swear I ever lost in my life. After that though, and I know that how long I slept for because my Oura ring on my finger right now tracks my heart rate and my sleep. And after that, I only slept for 2 hours a day, if that. I was awake. Because your brain produces so much melatonin when you're asleep that your body doesn't know that you need to go to sleep. You just stay awake because it doesn't kick in that you need to go and have a rest. And so what happens in the darkness, besides it being boring as hell and sitting in the dark, I did a lot of breath work, but what comes through is you think through everything. I think I mentally had sold my business and bought it again like 15 times. Like, I was like, nah, I'm gonna travel Australia now. And then I was like, that's a stupid idea, why am I gonna do that? And I just went back and forth like for 4 days with all these thoughts. And I'm just gonna share with you guys, without getting into the nuts and bolts of what actually happened inside darkness, what the key lessons actually were for me. And I think this is objective to everyone's individual experience, but this was mine. The first thing is that it's just you, your mind, and whatever comes through you. Normally when you go to some sort of retreat or you take a substance or something like that, it's something external that helps you experience what you need to experience. If you do breath work, you're increasing the amount of CO2 in your body, and that helps you have a certain experience. In the darkness, it's sensory deprivation. And so anything that you experience inside the darkness, it's just you. It's nothing else. And so all the uncomfortable things that I had to feel into and experience, the only thing to do was to try and meet them with love and acceptance, radical acceptance. There are things, and there are things for all of you here today, that you probably don't like about yourself. There are things that you probably think about that you're not proud of. And when you're in the darkness, all of that comes up, all of it. The worst of the worst. And the only thing to do is to meet it with radical acceptance and love. There was likely only 2 to 3 people in my life that actually thought about me every day. And I think this is pertinent because we live in a world where social media is so like, we're trying to do stuff to impress people we actually don't like or don't even know. It's just getting worse and worse with every new social media platform that comes out. And what I realized is that there was only 2 to 3 people, my fiance, my mum, and my dad, that probably thought about me every single day and meaningfully thought about me and how I was going. And the lesson in that is that they're the most important people in the world to me, like, period. And like Matthew Pavlich said, you're not that important. Like, I just thought the world would stop. And everyone would be like, cool, wait for Jordan to get out of the darkness. And again, the confetti would pop out when I came out. But it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, okay. Everyone just continued on with their lives. And, you know, the number 1 real estate agent in Crathorne wasn't there, but, you know, no one seemed to notice. That's what I thought. It's crazy. And one day, you will cease to exist. And everything that you judge yourself about, everything that you're stressed about, everything you've achieved, everything will also cease to exist. And that really asks a big question. What's your legacy going to be? And also, from that place, I know that sounds like a dark thought, but from that place, I'm not afraid to try and achieve anything that I want to achieve. Because if I fail, I'm going to cease to exist anyway. And it's all just going to be a little dot in my life and it's all going to be over. No one's going to remember. If I went bankrupt tomorrow, who cares? Like, who cares? In 5 years' time, we're going to start another business. It's all good. But, you know, like, you're going to die. So just go in and create and achieve what you want to achieve and live a life that's fulfilling to you. That's all that matters. So this is me coming out of the darkness after 98 hours in no light, 0 and very minimal sound. And I was pretty excited at this point and I was pretty nervous. And yeah, I'll let you watch. Just ultimate relief to be back in the environment where I can look at another human, where I can converse with you, where I can be grateful for lights and grass and ocean and birds shitting on the pontoon. Like, you don't realize how much you take for granted until it is all taken away. And that's the number 1 thing from the darkness. I'm just grateful that I get to go on a plane today. Like, how cool is that? Even though the lady next to me this morning was like coughing heaps and stuff, and I was like, yo, can you not? Like, I still get pissed off at things. I'm not the Terminator, but you know, I just had absolute gratitude now for just being able to be here with you all today. Like, it's a pretty cool thing, right? And we just take it all for granted. The fact that you got a mobile phone that you can put headphones in, you can play music whenever you want. Are you serious? When you don't have that in the darkness, that's all you want. You just want to listen to some beats. And that's it. Yeah, there's a few tears. I was pretty emotional at that point. I was very much looking forward to seeing my family and those people closest to me. Yeah, a funny thing, it wasn't snowing when I got out. It was green, so I was like, whoa, where the fuck am I? It's crazy. And yeah, returning to darkness. And this is it, guys. Healing yourself relates to healing others. Let me be your permission slip that if you take radical self-responsibility for your own emotional experience of the world, that you seek out methods to heal yourself, whether it be breath work, whether it be darkness retreat, whether it be ice baths, whatever your medicine is going to be. What works for me might not work for you. But you owe it to yourself, you owe it to the people you care about. Most importantly, you owe it to your kids to go and heal yourself so you don't pass that on to them. That's my why. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it.